Today's episode of the Watson Weekly Podcast is sponsored by Commerce Tools.
Make sure your brand and your business is ready for the trillion-dollar e-commerce market. Commerce Tools, the global leader in commerce and creator of the powerfully composable Mock architecture, can help you achieve bite-sized wins or upsized achievements faster than ever. Whether you are looking to reduce maintenance costs for legacy systems or put the power of AI to work for you quickly, Commerce Tools is your partner for commerce success. Go to commercetools.com to learn how to get started.
It's June 17th, 2024, and this is the Watson Weekly, your essential e-commerce digest. Today on our show, could Amazon deliver the mail? Costco expanding its ad network. McKinsey State of the Consumer 2024 report. And Loop and Happy Returns partner up. And finally, the Investor Minute, which contains 3 items this week from the world of venture capital, acquisitions, and IPOs. But first, at our shopping cart full of news, could Amazon deliver the mail? Or asked another way, should USPS expand its workshare program rather than shrink it? I did a post on this on LinkedIn last week, and I got what you might call the opposite of fan mail. It generated an entire flame war against me, which I was happy to be on the receiving end of. And after all, if you're having a discussion, there is passion about a topic, right? If you've ever wondered, wow, I wish I had more engagement on my LinkedIn content, be careful what you wish for. But I guess it's better than being ignored, right? What am I talking about? Well, there has been a WSJ article recently about some of the changes to USPS that have been off to a slow and struggling start. It's not really this that I'm worried about. Change always brings struggle. Operational issues can be fixed. Regional processing plants like the one mentioned in Atlanta in the article are a good idea objectively, and even if some are struggling out of the gate, staffing is a problem for everyone. It matches my own experience with the mail. Sometimes great, sometimes maddening delays. Staffing is being one of the biggest blockers. But I do have trouble with the WSJ article too. It mentions USPS is hemorrhaging cash for years due to declining mail volume. Well, declining mail volume, that part is true, but parcel volume has been increasing. Really, the cash flow is due to retirement benefits obligations pre-funding retiree health benefits. Isn't it curious, since that change was made in 2006, USPS has not turned a profit since that day? It's not a coincidence. But I wanted to ask a simple question though. Why shouldn't we change how last mile is done? It seems to me that we have long passed the time where exactly one last mile carrier can deliver the volume of mail nationwide to all places. The universal mandate is a great idea, but it does not necessarily mean the implementation needs to be the same everywhere or has to be the service every single day. If you were to reimagine this from scratch, would you set up the same structure? And having private companies bid for zones and routes would set up competition and encourage entrepreneurship. And of course, quality could be an issue, as if it isn't already an issue, by the way. But Amazon's Delivery Service Partner Program is a model, and it's not technically Amazon employees delivering parcels to most of us. Workshare for the USPS has historically been done primarily in the mail pre-sort business with massive facilities to get mail across the country, dominated by Pitney Bowes historically. Could this be done for last mile too? Could some kind of public-private partnership work? And if so, why not Amazon? They already dominate most every package room in America. Why not your mailbox? Our second story. Costco expanding its ad network. And you thought the hot dog was enough at Costco. It looks like instead of mustard, you will also get a side of ads. Wait, you don't put ketchup on your hot dog, do you? Costco is the 3rd largest retailer, which is a fact I constantly forget, and has a subscriber database of over 74 million consumers. That's a lot of valuable data which brands would love to leverage. And one thing that will make Costco's retail media network more valuable than others, everyone who walks into the store, you know their address already due to membership. This is very different than the average retailer and will likely lead to a premium on this ad inventory relative to others. Of course, relatively speaking, Costco is late to the party. But since everyone loves their hot dogs, people will be happy to have them finally showed up. Most of all, brands who are looking for alternatives to Amazon, Instacart, and Walmart in the retail media space. And it's not lost on Costco's management team there's a big profit opportunity here. Last year, it's estimated that Costco brought in over $200 million in media revenue, but its competitors like Kroger brought in almost $1 billion. Can you say upside? Extra ketchup on mine, please. Our third story, McKinsey State of the Consumer 2024 report. The often ridiculed but seldom duplicated consulting firm McKinsey has released a State of the 2024 Consumer, and I thought it was interesting to pass along a few key findings from it. Or pass along my thoughts in general of what I consider to be actually kind of ridiculous findings. Now that you've been warned, let's get into it. First, particularly in the Middle East and Asia, younger consumers are about to become much bigger spenders, and their eyes are on more premium products compared to the trading down happening in the West. My take on this trend is that it may not apply to China given their upcoming huge demographic challenges. Second, middle-income consumers are resilient, there's that silly word again, and are willing to spend on discretionary items like travel and home improvement. Two trends, two misses from my point of view. I have a feeling the idea of the resilient consumer will be laughed at in about 6 months from now. Whose pocketbook is not being squeezed in an advanced economy right now? Third, McKinsey reports that brand loyalty is diminished and some consumers have switched loyalty in the face of pandemic-era supply chain disruptions. This has increased the purchase of private label products, which are often just as good but cheaper. In my take, it seems like this is taking one trend and conflating it with another. Supply chain disruptions changing brand loyalty, what year are we in? How about this trend skipped over in the last one? In other words, squeezed consumer pocketbooks causing consumers to be very choiceful in trading down. Finally, McKinsey mentions that health and wellness market is expanding significantly. Seriously, this passes for insights? Why no mentioning the aging demographic of US consumers, which is the real motivation behind all this? Also, hello, Ozempic. I see you sitting there. Look, part of our role here at the Watson Weekly is to shine a light on bullshit. And there was a little bit more than expected here in the McKinsey report, but at least we're able to help each other out in this journey. And hey, you got some free McKinsey consulting to boot, and that and $2.90 will get you on the subway in New York City. And our last story, Happy Returns and Loop partner up. Loop's partnership with Happy Returns is a win for both sides. It sure looks to me that Loop has consolidated the Shopify returns market over the last few years. This whole business of consolidation started when Affirm acquired Returnly in 2021 and then shuttered it in 2023, telling all its customers to move over to Loop, which greatly accelerated the company's growth. This looks like another deal where the dominant player on one side, Loop, makes a smart partnership with the dominant player on the other side, Happy Returns, and both sides benefit and avoid competition. Digital meets physical. Here are the details on the partnership between Happy Returns and Loop. Loop customers have the option to access Happy Returns' 10,000 drop-off locations where a box is not required, which is frankly how shoppers want to do returns. It's much better to inspect and understand what to do with the return at the point the customer hands it to you rather than ship it back. Happy Returns customers now have a preferred path to integrate with Shopify and serve buyers who are part of that ecosystem. Even those who work for other platforms will acknowledge Shopify the fastest growing platform, so Happy Returns teaming up with the largest returns provider on the platform is good for them as well, particularly as Shopify starts to have more conversations up market. Is this a knockout blow for the returns market for Loop? While there are several smaller players, it sure looks to me like the Shopify integration side, Loop has outlasted not only Returnly, but now Happy Returns as a primary returns integrator for the platform. Of course, there is competition, but they're a lot smaller. And now the focus seems to be upmarket since Happy Returns is about enterprise customers as part of UPS. What's next here? Well, it seems to me that at its core, Loop has always been about returns and also kind of not about returns. There is an entire class of supply chain related companies that never touch a box. So what then? At its core, Loop is about something very different, driving cash efficiency in a merchant's business by turning an opportunity where cash could have exited the building and exchanging that for inventory. Loop helps merchants be more efficient with their precious cash and inventory turns, making a customer happier during their purchase experience and making it more likely that they're going to purchase again. My partner and colleague Nick Kaplan has discussed on the Watson Weekend about the world having entered the age of efficiency, in particular with regards to cash. In other words, the CFO has slid into your DMs. Going forward, there are other customer experiences Loop could transform to help improve a merchant's cash flow, and this is a direction I would expect them to take, along with other growth-oriented SaaS companies out there. Congrats to Jonathan Poma and the entire Loop, as well as Happy Returns team on this. Now a word from our sponsor, Commerce Tools. When a multi-billion-dollar beauty brand's e-commerce platform neared the end of its life, the entire business was at risk, including the ability to serve customers. By switching to Commerce Tools and embracing a more flexible mock architecture, the retailer's vision for connecting in-store and personalized shopping experiences became a reality. The brand can now roll out new features within days, securing its position as a modern brand that uses technology to its advantage. If you're being held hostage by your technology platform and your developers have thrown up their hands, tell them to start a free trial at commercetools.com today. It's that time, friends, for our Investor Minute. We have 3 items on the menu today. First, Shopify acquires Slack alternative Threads. Shopify has acquired Slack replacement Threads, no, not Instagram's Threads, the other Threads, for an undisclosed amount. Is this another acqui-hire or potential opportunity for Shopify to offer a team communication platform for its customers? If that's the case, is a Tableau-like acquisition next to complete their transformation into a Salesforce lookalike? Second, Authentic Brands Group to acquire Champion from Hanes Brands. ABG has acquired athletic wear brand Champion from Hanes Brands for $1.2 billion, potentially adding $300 million for a $1.5 billion exit based on performance thresholds. Authentic continues to find and acquire iconic brands. It's certainly interesting to see the rise of champions in the last several years from forgotten to remembered. Third, New Era to acquire lifestyle brand 47. New Era has announced it will acquire fellow lifestyle brands 47 for an undisclosed amount. The combined companies generate approximately $2 billion in annual revenues. What are the chances we see an IPO of New Era in the next 2 years? And today's final word of the week for June 17, 2024 is CFO, as in the CFO has entered the chat. My partner Nick Kaplan and I spent some time at Commerce Next last week, and I'll be damned if how to sell to a CFO was not part of every conversation. If you're within a brand, the game is now how to convince your CFO that everything your digital team does is not actually just another cost center, but can help the company's cash flow. On the other side of the table, if you're an agency or ISV, how to turn that CFO frown upside down by showing concrete proof and delivery of results to the top and bottom line is your new mission. Good luck out there. Did you know that RMW Commerce has a brand new podcast? Check out the Watson Weekend for an unfiltered and lively e-commerce chat each week with me, Rick Watson, my co-host, Jess Liseski, and an array of interesting guests and topics, all focused on e-commerce. You can find the Watson Weekend by searching for it on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. That's all for this week. Till next time, Watsonians. Hi, I'm Rick Watson, CEO and founder of RMW Commerce Consulting and host of the Watson Weekly Podcast, your essential e-commerce digest. Our production partner for the series is Citizen Race Car. The show is produced by Jose Baez, production manager Gabriela Montequin. To hear new episodes of the show every Monday morning, subscribe now at rmwcommerce.com/Watson Weekly and wherever you get your podcasts.